Hi guys, welcome back to Jess Dream, guys. So I have an interesting story to tell you guys. So I had a dream the other night that somebody was, I walked into this room and this lady, she was just flipping cards. She had all these spreads in front of her and she was just flipping cards. And the room was dim and I was like, oh my gosh. And so I came in the room and I sat down and like opposite to her, back to back, and we both just started flipping cards, making spreads. It seemed like somebody was trying to find the answers to something, So I jump up. I've been having these jumpy dreams like, oh my gosh, what is that? Like, they've been vivid. I'm on a fast too, so my dreams have been way more clear and way more vivid. So anyways, I go back to sleep, wake up, and I go back to sleep, and in my dreams I wake up and somebody's like in my room. And it's dark and pitch black in my room. So I'm like, oh, snap. And then they try to like beat me up or something. And I'm laying down on the floor. And I'm like, what the heck? And so I jump up again. Now I'm awake. Now I go, oh my gosh. And so I'm like, I go back to sleep, but like hesitantly, I go back to sleep. And then it happens again. But the second time I knew that somebody was going to come into my room while I was asleep. So I was like, oh my gosh, let me go get my taser. So I go and get my taser. And I'm like going to sleep with my taser in my hand like this. And the person comes into my room, but this time they grab my taser, which is already on. You just got to push the button and tase me with it. And I get tased like 3 times. And I'm like, And I just wanted to wake up out of this dream. It was so crazy. And finally I woke up, like jumped up. And I remember calling my person and the phone went to, I didn't call him. I sent him a text and I was like, oh, okay. Well, I just hit him up and said, are you okay? So I didn't hear anything, because usually when I have dreams like that, like somebody's in trouble. If I'm not in trouble, somebody around me that I am connected to or love is in trouble. So I said all that to say, later that day, me and him had just gotten, kind of back together or whatever. We had just, had our little, we call it the reconnect in the spiritual world. So we had just kind of reconnected. He had been in a previous relationship. She kicked him out. All kinds of things happened. So I went and kind of like made sure that he was okay. Helped him out with some stuff. I had all of his clothes in my car. You guys don't understand. I had just came back from Georgia. So like to come back from Georgia to Texas, I still had stuff in my car. So we stuffed my car as much as we could and we took off. I just wanted to make sure he was okay. I wanted to make sure his daughter was okay. That kind of thing. So afterwards, he started getting a bit mean. I mean, we spent Thanksgiving together and things were fun. Then we had a great time. And then he started getting mean, like disrespectful. And I guess doing the things that he was doing with this ex who had just put him out. And I've grown spiritually so much that I was like, no, you can't talk to me like that. I was like, sir, I'll take all your clothes that are here and throw them in the trash. That was lower self saying that. By the way, that's not what you do. That's not how you treat people. Especially me. I'm such a sweetheart. I need to elevate, and I have been elevating, but I'm just, not at that peak 100 yet. I'm like at 90, probably 85. But anyway, so I was upset. I was like, this is not how you treat me. You don't talk to me crazy, talk to me crazy, and then tell me when you gonna bring me my and I was like, wait, hold on. Then I understood at that point that he was in his lower self because he was triggering my little lower self, or whatever. So I'm like, okay. I was like, look, sir, I will throw your stuff away, And then something told me to just chill out. I prayed and something said, have strength, have compassion. I was like, you're right. Because the human emotion in you wants to say, you can't put me through this and then demand from me. Who do you think you are? Anyways, so I do all of that and I just pushed myself to go give him his stuff, and I ended up meeting him to go get him stuff. I drove 30 minutes to go get him his stuff. And the craziest thing is I had a action-packed day. I was doing readings that day for Jess Dream Guide, so I was trying to post in the midst of doing a bunch of business, making phone calls. I had interviews that day, all types of things. So I was just trying to get myself together, and I remember it being such a rush for me to do this, that, and the other. Then I was like, dang, let me go ahead and do this, da. I was never stopped running that day. So I finally go bring him his stuff, and we had a good time, and like I said, and I just let him know, I hope things get better, and he got his stuff out of my car, and gave me some money, and then left. Because I asked him for some oil change money, because I had been driving a lot for him. Y'all don't understand how much I had been driving for him. But anyway, so he gave me a little bit of money, which wasn't enough for the oil change, by the way, but it was, towards it. So I have to, I respected it at the same time, because he has a job. I don't have a job right now. I'm in between jobs. So it was respectful. I was like, oh, not only did you apologize for being a jerk, because he did say, I'm sorry for being a jerk and I love you, but he also tried to help me out as much as he could. Anyways, so later that day, like I said, I have those dreams, and the next day I call the phone and the phone is off. Like, not off, like completely line is done. I can't call him. I'm like, what the heck? After me being so compassionate, what the heck? So I started freaking out. I was like calling my friend. She was busy. I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is my test. I knew at that point that this was my test. But being cut off so harshly to somebody that I love and somebody who loves me back, or says they do, you know. But let me tell you something also. This person has addictions.
No judgment,
I had
okay?
addictions. I got rid of my addictions. This person is still in their realm of addictions. They can't live without certain things and certain substances, you know, sex, alcohol, all that kind of stuff. All these addictions. I mean,
no judgment, remember.
So I can only speak on them, knowing that, you know, your twin flame and your mirror, they do the same things sometimes that you do. So I start backing up off my addictive behaviors. When I went to Georgia, that's a whole nother story, y'all. Like I said, I changed my life. My whole life changed. I became this whole new person. Like, you know, I'm still working on myself, but I used to scream. I used to throw shit. Baby girl was a firecracker. But now I'm like one of those little sparklers. I can still light up, but, you know, like sparkler. Anyways, it hurt me so bad. And I'm gonna try not to cry throughout this, because last night I was gonna post a video and I decided not to post the video because I was in my lower self when it came to my emotions. My emotions went through the roof. Being cut off hurts. It hurts so bad. It hurts so bad, especially when you do something for somebody and you really, really humble yourself and you really, really do something, like, you know, that was out of your way. I didn't have money and I still did something for him, you know. And then I'm like, well, God, what kind of lesson is this? Because here I am thinking that my person is coming back. Sorry. And I just did a reading about a tower moment, you know. And that day, the day before that, I did that reading about tower moments. And I'm like, brace yourself. And then the other reading that I did was like, love conquers all conflicts. And even in my situation, action, outcome, it was just all kinds of things that was pointing to this moment happening. But, you know, it's a collective message. So I just took it as that. Like, and I knew that a lot more people are going through this. And that's why I had to make this video, because that night I had a few people on my live and we were having a good time, but I know, and I could tell that they were hurting. I'm an empath, so it hurts me to know that this person knows that my spirit is very sensitive. Anyways, I could feel the people in my room that were talking to me, you know, in the TikTok live, and I just felt like this video can help somebody, because being harshly cut off, it hurts, especially when you really know your person, especially when you didn't expect it, especially when things start to get good first, okay? So I decided to do myself a reading on this platform. First off, I prayed. I felt so trapped. I felt like, why betray me again? And the thing is, he went back to the woman who just put him out. And I felt like that was betrayal. And when I finally did speak to him, I mean, I did some crazy stuff. I finally get to speak to him. And his words were, I'm with my wife.
That's not his real wife, by the way, guys.
But then, you know, he was telling me the day before that he was working on being with me and things like that. And then I'm like, well, you know, yesterday he was sober. Today he's drunk.
Playful, devilish energy.
Words. I mean, you know, it's a difference in being healed and coming back into a union, and having one person unhealed can trigger all the unhealed things.
My demons fighting his demons.
So that's what happened. And although I feel like I failed one section of my test by, like, you know, getting triggered, and I went bananas, I'm not gonna lie. I started calling around trying to figure out how to get in contact with him. I called his job finally, and that's how I got that information that I was cut off. I felt like he could have told me, but anyways, I was triggered. And so again, I'm letting you guys know that if you guys come back into union and it's not your timing, and one person's up here and one person's down there, either they're gonna pull you down, but you can't pull them up. It's too much weight. It's too heavy. It's too much weight. It's easier to go down than up. They have to want to come up. They have to come up the stairs themselves. Anyways, there's gonna be a part 2. It's gotta be.